Is Israel starving the people of Gaza? Well, the quick answer is no, but check out this really intense and heated clip on the BBC where the reporter, and I use that in scare quotes, where the reporter is asking Naftali Bennett, former prime minister of Israel, about the war situation in Gaza. And it gets really heated. So check it out. We'll watch it together and then talk about it. But first, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
Naftali Bennett is a former Prime Minister of Israel, and he joins us now here on BBC News. Mr. Bennett, welcome. Where has Benjamin Netanyahu gone wrong that necessitates a new party that you're setting up when it comes to Gaza and his policy there?
Well, I think it's broader. I think we need to unite Israel from within. We need to calm things down. We need to bring security to all of our borders. We've been attacked from Lebanon, from Syria, from Iraq, from Iran, from Yemen.
So where has Mr. Netanyahu got this wrong when it comes to security policy? And clearly you think he needs to go if you're setting up a new party.
I have many ideas how to do it the right way. What I don't want to do is criticize Israel's government and foreign media. Things I'll hash out in Israel. I think we should act quicker and get this done with. We had in the past wars of 6 days or 2.5 weeks. And I think with smart, sharper strategy, we can defeat Hamas and bring home the hostages.
You say that you don't want to criticize the Israeli administration. Another former Israeli Prime Minister, Ehud Olmert, said in recent days that Israel is close to committing war crimes in Gaza. He says that the current Israeli administration is a gang of thugs. Do you agree?
No, I don't. The IDF is not committing any war crimes in Gaza. We're fighting a very difficult war where Hamas is using a fundamental tactic, which I call it human sacrifice tactic, where they embed themselves within schools, within hospitals, within children, in order to maximize the number of deaths in Gaza to turn world opinion against Israel.
We've been reporting about a family of 11 children who were killed in Khan Yunis. They were in their own home. The IDF has not said anything particularly about that other than it's under review. Surely you're in danger of alienating more of Israel's allies with views that you've just expressed. We already know that France, the United Kingdom and Canada have opposed this expansion of the military operation there. And the British Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, has said that Israel is breaking international law by stopping aid getting in. People are starving.
Well, let's unpack what you've just said. No, people are not starving. Israel has allowed 1.7 million tons of aid into Gaza.
Since when?
Since the beginning of the war.
Yes, the beginning of the war, perhaps.
Let me finish.
No, I'm sorry, but the most recent period, since the end of March, there was a blockade of aid.
So
the UN World Food, let me just share some statistics. The World Food Programme from the UN says that 14,000 children are severely malnourished. We also understand from an organisation called Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, which is UN-backed, 2.1 million Palestinians are at critical risk of famine and face extreme levels of food insecurity because this blockade is continuing. Surely you have to get behind the idea that you need to flood the Gaza Strip with aid to help these people.
We have. During the ceasefire, we let in 25,000 trucks that had 450,000 tons of food.
Ben, I'm sorry.
Hold on, you can't just cut me.
I'm sorry.
Hold on, let me finish my point. I understand your question. I got it. Let me answer. During the ceasefire, we let in enough food for months forward. The thing is that Hamas keeps on hijacking that food, looting the food, and then turning around in order to make money. And we're not in the business of allowing Hamas to become rich. So what we're doing now is trying to separate the terrorists from the civilians. And that's why we're designating the southern part of the Gaza Strip to be the civilian area where aid will be given without limit. And in the northern part, it should be a no man's land, and anyone there is a terrorist, and in order for us to make that separation.
But by your argument, Hamas would just hide themselves in the areas where the civilians have been pushed to, where there is no shelter and often no water even.
No, but we have a fair ability to distinguish when they move through our checkpoints to pinpoint the terrorists. That's why they don't want it. Look, we don't have magic. We've been attacked by Hamas on October 7th. They deliberately murdered 1,200 Israelis, including babies, deliberately. What we're trying to do, and we are not looking to continue the war. All we want is our citizens back, 58 hostages, and we don't want another October 7th.
How is this helping anyone, though? I mean, even 550 former senior security figures, including the former heads of Mossad and Shin Bet, have written to Donald Trump to say that he needs to intervene because they cannot trust Benjamin Netanyahu with this anymore. They do not understand what military objectives he thinks he's going to achieve. Already, many of the Hamas leadership have been taken out, have been killed. And we heard today, and we're going to play a clip now of one hostage who's been freed, Naama Levy, and she said what she feared most when she was in captivity was the Israeli airstrikes. Let's listen to what she had to say.
What frightened me most were the bombings. First you hear the whistling, praying it won't fall on us. Then the explosions, sounds so intense they paralyze your body, and the earth shaking. Each time I was certain it was my end. In one bombing, part of the house I was in collapsed. Fortunately, the wall I was leaning against didn't crumble, and that's what saved my life.
What would you say to her?
I would say that I love her. I'm happy she's home. War is a terrible thing, a horrible thing. But what we can't do is allow Hamas to attack us again and again. And they say already right now, the moment they can, they're going to attack us for another massacre. We have to defeat them. We have to bring the hostages home. And we have to do it while we do everything in our power to minimize the number of civilian deaths. The numbers that you talked about, that 14,000 number of children in famine, that's a full-blown lie. When you look into the details, they're talking about imminent, but we have poured in over 3,000 calories per person, and there's more than enough. Ultimately, the question should be laid on the door of Hamas. Why
Trump,
are you starving your people? Why are you using human sacrifice as your key tactic?
Donald Trump said during his visit to the Gulf states that a lot of people are starving. We're going to look into that. Is he wrong?
We should always look into everything.
Is he wrong?
I am saying clearly there is no starvation in Gaza.
We've seen pictures of children starving. We hear testimony daily here on the BBC from aid agencies and doctors of all nationalities who say the children they see are malnourished at least, if not worse.
So we're pouring in the aid. What I can say is that a lot of things that you say or you show are not true, are fake. And it's not the first time.
How do we get these pictures then if they're all fake?
You know, on October 17th, BBC said that El Hali Hospital was attacked by IDF from Israel by a rocket, killing 500. And you had a field day on that. And then, lo and behold, 24 hours later, it was a
these are recent pictures.
Islamic jihad rocket.
Mr. Bennett, these are recent pictures that we see.
It wasn't 500 deaths, it was 10 deaths. So it wasn't Israel, it was the Hamas and Islamic Jihad. Besides that, you got everything right. So let me just...
We have got everything right besides that.
Excuse me.
Did you say that? Did you? Sorry, I misheard you.
But what I'm saying very clearly, there's a tremendous amount of misinformation, of fake news. We do not deliberately kill anyone ever. That's not our policy. That's Hamas's policy. We're fighting for our defense. It's messy. It's difficult. We hate it. We hate war. My own son serves in the military. You think we're happy? I've been to over 400 mournings of soldiers. It's horrible. But there's one thing worse than war. It's being helplessly massacred by an enemy who wants to kill all of us. We're not going to let that happen again, even if some people don't like us.
Naftali Bennett, former Prime Minister of Israel, thank you very much.
Wow, that was heated. And the BBC is just a disaster. But you know, to the point of what he says, Israel does not want this war. We do not want it to continue. You can't attack a group of people, kill 1,200 of their citizens, take 200 hostages or more, and then still hold on to some of those hostages and say that you're not going to give up. And the first opportunity that you have, you're going to do more October 7th. How can Israel, just even if you don't like Israel, but put any other nation in the fill in the blank over there, how can a nation allow a group of people to continue threatening them, that say that they're going to do it again the second that they have the opportunity, and are still holding hostages? How are they not justified in trying to get back their hostages and taking out this group Hamas from power? I have no idea. Can anybody help me understand this? Love to hear your comments below. And if you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button. This is just, it's insane. It's insane that we have to keep talking about this.